eye on him because I mean he had so many children. He had 12 boys.
12 boys.
And he knew each one of them. Their rises, their strengths, their weaknesses, just as you said, Elder. And this is something, just like you said, for the men, that they should also have an eye out to see where their son and their, and daughters are have strengths and weaknesses, and bless them accordingly.
Prophet, I appreciate your opening theme song today about Benjamin. Okay. He said, they know who we are.
Right.
Psalms 83 tells you what happened, brothers and sisters, to us as a nation of people. Who was our enemies? Okay. Who came against us? You know what? You got a lot of people to say, well, it's just the white man. It's been more than just the white man doing things to us.
Absolutely. It's a lot of people. It's not just, and that's just as far as we want to lead you in truth on this program. It's always about truth. And so, truth be told, there are a lot more than just people whites. I don't even like saying that, because really, when you read scripture, you read nationalities, Hittites and Ashkenazis and the Cushites, and it's different reasons, and they had their reasons.
Right.
And so, as we look at, as you were even talking about Esther, going back there, and the reason that they cut it, because it revealed the enemy. It revealed the enemy. Agag, which was where the Agag, or the Amalekites, which is where Haman, who was the enemy in Esther, and what we'll be worshiping this week in Purim, he is directly connected, and many may be familiar with David and Saul. He's directly connected with that group of people, the very group of people that caused Saul to sin in the eyes of the Most High. Agag and the Amalekites. Saul was instructed by the Most High to kill them, to utterly destroy them, and not to leave any spoils. Don't pick over their things. Kill the animals. Kill everything. Kill it all. And he did not do that. That's who these people are. That's who Haman represents. So absolutely, as a holiday for his demise and him not getting his way. And of course, the Most High would intervene on that. These are people that he did not like at all. He wanted them destroyed originally.
Brothers and sisters, I'm gonna bring something out today and show you the similarities between the camps, Judah, Benjamin, whatever. We're going to show you a characteristic that's remarkable. All right, that the Most High showed me. I want to bring that out. But before we do, prophets, you have an article here.
History of Jamaica?
Yeah. And look, she's reading the history of Jamaica, because right now we believe, and our Trail Tribes chart tells us, that the people of Jamaica are descendants from Benjamin. Okay? All right?
And not to cut you off, you were talking about the intro, and it was just really to add, to show that there's always a connection. That just like we talk about Esther and Haman, sometimes people read the Bible and they think they're separate stories, but they're not separate stories. So in that song, he was saying the Ashkenazis know, the Cushite know, Ishmael knows. These are biblical references. But if you go to the YouTube and look for that particular song, They Know Who We Are by Benjamite, or just put that in Benjamin, you'll get to see the pictures that he's associating with this very names that are biblical names, so that you can see who those people are today.
Exactly. Prophets, go back. Let's go back on this one. And I want you to read that right there.
All right.
That top part.
Okay. The discovery of Jamaica. On May 5th, 1494.
When?
1494.
1494.
Christopher Columbus, the European explorer who sailed west to get to the East Indies and came upon the region now called the West Indies. Landed in Jamaica. On arrival at St. Anne's Bay, Columbus found the Arawak Indians inhabiting the land.
Now, this was the people that was already inhabiting the land called Jamaica when Christopher Columbus arrived there. They were not called Jamaicans at that time. All right.
That's a well, I don't know if you call them colonial given name. They like to colonize, and when they colonize, they change the name of the land.
They do. But right now, they was called the Arawak Indians, right? Now, go down, scroll down, prophets. Hold on. All right, now, not yet with him.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now, history of Jamaica, Jamaicans, right there. That one right there. Yeah, read that one.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Here are key moments in the history of Jamaica. The first inhabitants were the Arawaks.
Now we just read that, right? Okay.
Who were Indians from South America. Explorer Christopher Columbus visited the island in 1494, and this began Spain rule.
Now this began Spain rule. Spain wanted to conquer that land, right? Conquer these people, and Spain wanted to impose their rules on them, their way of life on them, right? The Arawak Indians. But what happened, Prophet?
It says they enslaved the Arawak.
They enslaved, right?
Come on. The Arawaks to farm sugar and tobacco.
What? To make what?
Sugar and tobacco.
So that land that they went there
was rich.
They was making sugar and what, Prophet?
Tobacco.
We use that now. Anything else?
No, it just says they soon died because of harsh living conditions. They didn't die off of that land.
Not all of them didn't die off that land, right? Some people died because of harsh working conditions. But what happened was the Arawak Indians rebelled.
Yeah.
They became known as the Maroons. How did they rebel, Elder? Jamaica has mountain regions. Jamaica has a rich forest. They went up in the mountains in Jamaica and rebelled. They were the Maroons. They were the pirates. They were raving as a wolf. What you got there, Prophet?
Nothing. And if you there's an individual, he passed away a while ago. What is it? Miles Monroe. He talks about the that characteristic of Jamaican. He is from I think from Jamaican heritage, and so they know the history of their people, and that they were so unruly and could not be controlled, ravenous as a wolf, and always going in packs, and so they were overthrown to the point. That's how they ended up getting Jamaica, and they could not, because the British or those who were trying to have power and authority over them could not contain them.
And you said it probably before I could bring it out. You just awesome. Spain tried to colonize and enslave them, right? They set up their little camps, right? But the Maroons rebelled against that and drove them off the land, technically. Then the British stepped in.
Yeah.
But we can try to control them. They couldn't control them either. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. This is history on a people that rebelled against slavery. And guess what? Were successful. Yeah. They captured slave ships. They set slaves free. Benjamin. Where did this fighting spirit come from, brothers and sisters? They have a love for their people. Yes, they did. But before this day and time, before this in 1494, before 1611, before 1619, before the slave trade, Benjamin has always been with us. Let's go into the book of Samuel in your King James Version Bible real quick.
You know, I was looking at, just before we head off, you were asking me what I saw. It's so interesting how they skip. So we know we talked about 1494. When you look in history, it wants to go to British captured the island in 1655. Now that leaves you like 200 years.
That's about 200, what's going on?
100 and what, 50 years, 160 years. So what they have in between there, which lets you know you can't skip time. You're going to need to go, you know, year by year. That's just like somebody passed out and must have had amnesia and doesn't remember the years or something. You know, it says the Arawaks died out about 100 years after Spanish rules, and then African slaves were imported. No, that's the name they gave the ones who remained there. That's really what that's saying right there. When you see something like that, they did not die out.
They did not.
They did not. If you know anything about our people, they didn't die out. You don't have no money and no, you ain't got but one thing that you can do. So I promise you they didn't die out.
They did not. Con prophets, you're absolutely right. Okay. So look, we're going to touch on this other Benjamin. Let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel here. And we're going to chapter 23, prophets, okay?
All right. 1 Samuel chapter 3, what verse?
You know what? No. You know, we're in chapter 20. I want to bring this out.
Chapter?
Chapter 22.
Oh, okay.
Now you talked about the wickedness of Saul, what Saul didn't do what the Most High told him to do through Samuel, right? All right. But Saul has always been working with the enemy or had the enemy in his camp to do evil, right? Let's look at this when Saul had this Edomite do evil for him, all right? Chapter 23, prophetess. I just want to bring this out.
23?
Yeah, verse 17.
All right. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel. He is speaking to David.
Yeah, you in chapter, chapter 22.
I was in 22.
Verse 17, right?
Yes, now it's 22.
Yeah, it's 22.
All 22,
right. Verse 17.
Okay, and the king said unto the footman.
Now the king here is who? Saul. Come on.
The king said unto the footman that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of the Most High, because their hand also is with David.
And because what?
Because their hand also is with David.
See, you are evil because they are trusting as David as the next king. Let's kill the priest, okay? But he's the king, ain't he? Come on.
And because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me, but the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of the Most High God. Somebody
had sense. Somebody, because them is the priest. That's the Most High's holy representative on the earth. All right. Somebody had sense. Come on, prophet.
And verse 18. And the king said to Doeg,
Turn
thou and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned.
And who? Doeg the who?
The Edomite.
Doeg the Edomite. We always had a stranger among us. He had strangers in the camp. He probably didn't have a problem killing these priests because you know what? They were Levites. Doeg, who is he?
And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priests and slew on that day 75 persons.
45?
That did wear a linen ephod.
So all of them that was in that linen ephod probably was in white. He killed. Yeah, he killed them. He was an Edomite. Yeah. And all of this was done to do what? To capture David, right?
To try to capture David because Saul had already sinned and he knew that his time was up from what we said.
But see, this is what I want to bring out. King Saul was technically from the tribe of Benjamin. He had a son, and the Most High would give you a way of escape, right? He will protect you, even through your worst enemy. He supposed to be on this is the king. You that just is a spirit on Saul. All right. Prophets, go to chapter 23.
Because, and that was another reason you were saying, he knew where the blessing was. On David. Because the Most High favored him over his mistake. He knew the mistake he made. So what is he doing? If I kill him, no one's left but me. That's some kind of way you get that crazy mentality. I can kill the ones who are blessed, African Americans, Judah, and then it just by default I'll stay the king.
I'll stay the king by default. You're trying to make it work by default.
I'm trying to work it out yourself.
No, you can't beat the Most High.
1 Samuel 23.
23, and read verse 15.
All right. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life.
David saw this. He had heard stuff and everything. He said, wait a minute, this crazy man, he's trying to kill me.
I'm his brother. That is your brother. He's a Benjamite. David is of the tribe of Judah.
Right. Come on.
And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life. And David was in the wilderness of Ziph in a wood. And Jonathan, Saul's son.
Whose son?
Saul's son.
Saul's son. He's smart. He ain't crazy. This is Jonathan, Saul's son, a Benjamite.
Arose and went to David into the wood and strengthened his hand in the Most High God. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel.
And thou shalt be king over it. How did Jonathan know that? The Most High showed it.
It was shown. They knew it was not going to be Saul. Saul knew it. Everybody pretty much knew it.
So I was wondering how